Good afternoon, everyone. We will get started in about 30 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We do still have some people joining, so I will say this now and I'll repeat it again, but we are recording today, and I'll give you instructions of how you can get a copy of the recording. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm Erin Hopwood and I lead the Business Central practice at Weidenhammer. I'm joined today by Ben Cole from Rux Software. Part of how Weidenhammer serves our clients is connecting them with tools and partners that we trust. And Ben and his team at Rux have built something that we think every BC customer should know about, the free Business Central Health Check. So today, Ben's going to walk you through how to set it up and show you what it can surface about your tenant. And then after Ben's demo, I'll talk briefly about how Weidenhammer extends that kind of system level visibility into a broader view of your environment beyond the data to your people and your processes. So as I said before, we are recording. If you'd like a copy, you can reach out to us at dynamics@hammer.net, and I'll give you that again at the end. So a little bit about Weidenhammer. We bring decades of experience and to the industry experience and 20 years of deep partnership with Microsoft to every engagement. Our capabilities go far beyond ERP. We've built dedicated centers of excellence in data and AI, e-commerce, IT, cloud, and security, ensuring we can support your business across the full digital landscape. The common thread through all of this is our customers. For over 50 years, organizations have trusted Weidenhammer to deliver results. We understand how to align technology with your operations and strategic goals to deliver measurable outcomes consistently and confidently. So, Ben, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you.
Erin said, she gave me a brief introduction. My name's Ben. I'm here with Rux Software. If you're not familiar with Rux, the name might look new. It was a merger of ERP Connect and Open Door last summer, so it's been almost a year, but bringing a lot of great applications in the ISV space together. Today, we're going to be specifically focused on that health check application, trying to get more visibility and just real-time access to how your Business Central instance is performing. But we do have about 35 other apps in our application portfolio. So if you are looking to optimize Business Central, Erin and myself and Bill and the whole Weidenhammer team work together to do just that. And everything that we have is built directly in Business Central. So really looking forward to showing you a little bit more about that today. Just a quick agenda to kind of level set what the next 25 minutes or so is going to look like. We're going to start with the gaps in the solutions that exist and that we have solutions for in Business Central. Then we're actually going to go through the setup of the health check. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes. Download it from AppSource, get everything set up, and then going through the analysis of things like your accounting health setup, inventory system, change logs, as well as a few others. And then we'll leave you with some next steps and resources that you can be successful with this application as well as our others. And then if there's any additional questions for Erin and her team on kind of what their ancillary offering looks like to our health check, she'll be talking about that as well. So one thing to talk about before we jump in, this is kind of high level across all ISV applications or just anything that you're building or buying. I just like to call this out, right, what the difference is. And just to kind of clarify, what we're going to show today is in that buy category, even though technically it's free, right? But we do have other applications that may have a price tag. So when you're building something from scratch, right, think of a PTE application in Business Central, you get that complete ownership of the design and it's tailored just for you. But that can come with a higher cost of ownership. And I call it the opening up of Pandora's box, right? Like, when does it end, right? You want more things each day. Everything you add adds cost to the overall solution as well as the long-term cost. But remember, you do get exactly what you designed, and it's made just for you, so it fits like a glove, right? On the opposite side of that, and what we're focusing on today is the buy side, right? So you get quick wins and high ROI. We're literally going to have this thing done in under 30 minutes, and you're going to have it at your fingertips to use on a daily basis or just for every month end or year end close that you're doing, right? But with that, you do get, less flexibility because what you see is what you get. It is out of box, but in my opinion, that comes with a little bit more reliability because we have hundreds of customers using the same app that we're supporting, and we have documented processes, training materials, videos, and things like that, right? So we'll dive more into that, but quickly, let's go over the gaps in Business Central and the solution we provide. And then I'm going to spend a majority of the time actually in Business Central showing you how this gets done. So 3 quick ones, right? The first one, if you're already on Business Central, you've probably seen that there's not a lot of great dashboards or visibility just right out of box, right? Microsoft, of course, also sells Power BI. They want you to use that for dashboarding, which I think is a great tool and absolutely something I recommend as well. But for some of those just little, quick wins, light lifts in Business Central, some of the dashboards we're going to show today, again, in my opinion, are a much better resource to use, and it's directly embedded into BC. Second thing is system indicators and notifications, right? You log into Business Central, you don't know what you don't know. If it's not telling you that there's areas for improvement and you're not, somebody who's logging into Business Central every day for the last 20 years, how are you going to know that there are areas for improvement, right? That's something that our application is going to show. And then finally, this one's just more from a time perspective. I used to do this manually many years ago before building this app. Scanning multiple modules or multiple screens at the same time is virtually unavailable in Business Central. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 5 or 6 related things at a time, throw them all on the same screen for you so you can kind of compare across various modules where there are areas for improvement as well. So kind of talked about the solutions as we were going through the gaps, but this is just a quick list of everything that we're going to go through today. Not going to talk through all of them because I'll do a in-depth demo, but if anybody wants to take a screenshot for their own reference or whatever you'd like to do there, I'll leave this up for a few seconds. But again, high level, some of my favorites: subledger to general ledger balance checks, right? Does your chart of accounts and general ledger tie out to like your AR and AP balances? That's one of my personal favorites. And then my other personal favorite is the posting group setups. There's that combination of general business posting groups that are tagged to vendors and customers, right? And the product posting groups, which are tagged to your items. The combinations then need to be set up to say, hey, these are all the sales and purchasing and cost of goods and direct cost applied accounts, right? That need to be mapped in order to transact. A lot of times we're getting, basic support requests. In my opinion, they're basic, right? Hey, the GL accounts are missing. Well, this is going to show you and proactively prevent that from happening. It's going to save you time. It's going to save us time. Everybody's going to be happy because it's less support tickets, and you're going to be able to run about your day. So with that, if you've been on my demos before, like I like to stay in Business Central for most of the time and stay out of the PowerPoint when at all necessary. So with that, let's jump over to Business Central here. And Erin, if you can just confirm that you're seeing Business Central now instead of the PowerPoint, that'd be awesome. All right, perfect. So let's go back to the homepage just to level set with what you're probably seeing. So this is my role center. It has nothing to do with health check specifically, but when you log into Business Central, you'll be on your homepage. If you've got that health check favorited, it'll be right here. Otherwise, you can always just go ahead and search for it, right? So I'm searching for it. There's literally only 2 things: the setup and the dashboard. So what you'll want to do if you don't already have this installed would be to come out to App Source, and I can drop this link in the chat, I think, right? So this would be our marketplace offer. Again, it's free. There's no charges associated with this, no usage, nothing. You get it now. It's totally free now and forever. And we've got the videos and the product guides and things like that you can review here. However, this and the recording will be plenty to get you started. After you download it, all you need to do is come to the health check setup and activate the extension. So I've already got it activated, ready to go for today. You'll, of course, need to add your users in. So who can access the health check dashboard upon install. This will be blank, again, just from a prevention standpoint to not just let everybody into the health check right away, right? You, as an administrator or whoever's on the call, right, may want to just add yourself, check it out, and then open it up to other folks. But this is where you would do that. The dashboard view is just a default. So what do you want to default open to? I'm going to have the accounting view be what I default to open to today. And the dashboard date range, just how much data do you want in that view when you log in. So mine's just going to be today. I can update that. Let's just do month to date like the rest, just to be consistent there. So I'll pop into the accounting view. My dashboard date range will be month to date, and then I'm good to go. The only other things here, which will default upon install, but I'll just explain quickly what they mean before jumping into the actual dashboard itself. Average paydays indicator threshold. This is going to come in handy on our interactive AR report. So what this means is, let's say your customer's payment terms are 30 days, and we're going to calculate on average how long it actually takes them to pay. Let's say on average it takes 34 days. That would be within this 5-day grace period, and it's not going to highlight them as like a late payer, right? So that's what that 5 means. You can do 0, you can do 30, whatever you want, throw in there. We default it to 5 just as an example. Number of payment receipts for APD stands for average paydays. So similar to what we have above. As the customers are paying you, how many payments do you want to take into account when coming up with that calculation? So what I have is, it's going to take the last 10 payments from our customer compared to the 10 or more applications to invoices, compare the dates to the actual date the cash was received, and that's how we come up with our average paydays calculation. So again, you have your terms, maybe 30 days. We're going to tell you how long it actually takes your customers to pay. And we're going to use that to run a couple little health check warnings there as well. Number series warning. This is just saying, once you get within 100 numbers of any number series, give me a warning. We'll see that in a second. And then old sales and old purchase documents, -1M, just says anything older than 1 month or 30 days. Highlight in the dashboard. So this is going to highlight in the dashboard any documents that were created over a month ago, just kind of saying, hey, these are old documents. You might want to clean these up, right? So super simple to, again, download from Microsoft Marketplace, formerly App Source, right? And then go into the health check setup and get that extension activated, your users set up, and then you can either leave these as the defaults or change them based on what we just saw. All right, so now what everybody's probably actually interested in is, what does the health check actually look like, right? So that would be our second option here. Again, Business Central kind of tells you, or is intuitive, that this was the administration page. This is the list page, they call it, right? So let's go into that dashboard, health check dashboard. And now we'll see some of the things that we had just talked about, right? So let that load up real quick here. It defaults to the accounting tab, accounting overview, as I see here. Again, just based on my selection. We also have setups, inventory, system, change logs, right? So we have 5 different functional areas we can review within the health check. And again, this can be used ad hoc, just download it and check it out. A lot of our clients are using this to aid with month-end close, right? It's much simpler to find a issue now and fix it than let that kind of compound on itself and just wait till the end of the year to clean it up. And for any partners on the phone, we've got a lot of partners as well that use it for their new implementations, right? I know this is Weidenhammer's webinar, but I do see some other partners on the phone as well. So I figured I'd call that out too. All right, so for accounting overview, my first thing I'm showing here is bank account posting group balances to their subledgers and subledgers to general ledger balance checks. What this is going to show is, it's going to show the GL balance for either the bank account or the subledger, or sorry, the ledger account, right? So whatever you have in your customer posting group, vendor posting group, bank account posting group, compared to the actual balance that you have, in this case, on your customer ledger entries, vendor ledger entries, bank account ledger entries, and so on and so forth, right? So again, nothing should be red or out of balance, right? In this case, if we dive into just accounts receivable, let's say, what this indicates to me is that we have $859,000 of receivables that have been booked against our customers. But if I look at the accounts receivable account on my balance sheet, we only have $836,000 in our GL balance. So again, that means folks are booking directly to my AR account, which is a no-no in Business Central, right? We should have that blocked, and we can do so through the direct posting warnings down here. So if I extrapolate that out to accounts payable or accounts receivable, I think I did a demo last week on this, so it looks like it is shut off. But typically, if we had accounts receivable out of balance, we would also see direct posting warnings for accounts receivable. In this case, we do have accounts payable warning here. If I click on that, it will in fact show me that direct posting is turned on for accounts payable. I see that accounts payable is in balance right now. I want to keep it in balance, so I'm going to turn direct posting off. What this is going to do is it's no longer going to allow me to post directly to this GL account card. I have to post through my vendor, which guarantees you that your AP, subledger, and general ledger will remain in balance into the future. So again, general ledgers to subledger balance checks. We want all of these to tie out. It means that everything's being posted correctly through the subledger and nothing's being posted directly to the general ledger. Down here on the direct posting warnings, again, it's just showing you if you have any GL accounts that have direct posting turned on, where they're also tied to a posting group, which 9 times out of 10 means that they should be turned off, especially if it's on the balance sheet, right? Income statement, people can make exceptions or people can make arguments for having these all turned on. Some of these, yes, I'm okay with them being turned on, like an office rent expense. However, fixed assets, AP, payables, cash, definitely should be turned off and not be on this list. So if you see anything in your assets or liabilities on this direct posting, please review again with Erin or Bill or myself. Definitely want to check that out. All right, continuing down here, balances by bank. This is just a nice little visual to check the health of your cash positions. So this is just going to show all cash positions. I have some credit cards in my bank accounts, so it's also listing some negatives here, which makes sense. American Express, some credit cards, and then most of my cash is in my checking account, which makes sense. Customer aging down here. So this is what I was talking about on the setup, right? So we'll see some customers that are in bold and red. We'll also see that they're flagged as late payers. Now I can do a quick filter on this, right? That's going to only bring up my late payers, right? So now we see terms 7 days, average paydays. Wow, it's taken 450 days for these guys to pay us, and they owe us $295,000. In my book, that's not a good sign, right? So somebody needs to make a call to these guys right now, make sure that they get paid. And you can also drill down into this. So if you're like, that number doesn't seem right, let's see, what that's all about. You can click into it, and it's going to show you all of the documents that make up that balance. I will also note, if there are payments that have not been yet applied to invoices, they will show here, and you can actually apply them directly to the invoices directly from this view. So not only is it a nice view, but it is interactive, and you can actually solve your problems as you go. We've now seen that twice. We've seen it with the customers, and we also saw it with the direct posting, right? I should note, you obviously need permissions to do these things as well, right? So if you don't have access to customer ledgers or you don't have access to chart of accounts, you will not see some of this data, and you will be blocked from making those updates. So for any administrators on the phone, there is no worries there. We follow and adhere to all of Business Central's security. So again, if you can't do it in base BC, you won't be able to do it in our health check. Number series warning, we saw that on the setup. If it comes within 100 digits of the final number, please give us a warning. So here we just see a handful of different errors here. We can see the error on this one is 100, we're at 0, so technically that's within 100. This one's at 55, ending number's 1098, that's within 100. Some are blank, so technically within 100, right? Probably need to look at, because once I hit item number 1098, I'm going to start getting errors. Hey, you can't create new items because you've reached your limit, right? Sales orders not shipped, sales orders shipped, not invoiced, and purchase orders received, not invoiced. Fairly self-explanatory, right? Just showing you things that have gone out the door, come in, that you haven't either sent invoices to for your customers or have not received invoices from your vendors. Just a quick list showing what those documents are. Again, just from a month-end standpoint, a lot of people are using this check. So again, just a quick glimpse into what are things that need your attention right now, right? And then old sales documents, old purchase documents. We saw that on the setup. Anything that was created over a month ago, whether that be a quote, we got some orders, a lot of orders it looks like, some invoices, some recurring sales documents, right? Anything that lives in that sales table, that was created over a month ago is going to show up here. Again, just a call out. You may not need to take action on all of these, but a lot of times, like here, I've got quotes that were created in 2023. Probably not winning those deals. So we can probably close those quotes out at this point 3 years later, right? But again, every business is different. I know some businesses that do truly manufacture huge, long lead time items, and a 3-year quote is standard, right? So take that for what it's worth, but we will put the data up there for you. And that's where you can change that date range as well. If you do really have long lead times, you could put that only show me things that are older than a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever you want. That's totally configurable by you. All right, so that's the accounting tab. I know we've only got 30 minutes today, so we're going to keep cruising through here. The next one that we've got is called our setup check, right? So this is going to show 4 different things. When this loads, this should show our posting group setups up top to the left here, which it does. Again, keep in mind, this is a combination of your business posting groups and your product posting groups, right? So these are going to be assigned to your customers and vendors. These are going to be assigned to your items. Now, when you post a sales order or a purchase order, those need to have the, ancillary sales and purchase and cost of goods, depending on what type of document it is, assigned, right? So in this case, if I scroll down, this is a very easy example. Someone added a business posting group for maybe a new vendor or a new customer called international. Maybe we're expanding, across the globe. That's great that they tagged the vendor or the customer correctly. However, nobody set up the combination, which we see here. So if it's in red, it means the combination literally does not exist in your posting setup. And then furthermore, of course, none of those GL accounts exist because we don't even have the initial configuration set, right? So again, this is diving maybe a level deeper than the accounting piece. This is where Erin and I have worked a lot together in the past to kind of clean up some client instances. But maybe a better example up here is the combination does exist, but we still have missing GL accounts. So if somebody tries to post a licenses or monthly, for example, some sort of sales document, they're going to get errors saying, hey, the sales document doesn't exist. That's going to trigger a ticket. That's going to take time. It's going to slow you down. Check this out every month, just very quickly. It takes 5 minutes if I'm not talking about every single one in depth. And you can quickly just scan your system and make sure that things are up to par. This next one over to the right is by far the most important. Posting range setups. Right now, I've got posting from and posting to completely blank. That means I could post back to 1999. I could post to 2040. I can literally post to any date that I want. That's, of course, going to send your financial team or accounting team or reporting team or whoever's dealing with actual data a nightmare, right? Because now they've got to clean it up and none of the data is going to make sense, right? So make sure that these are populated. Business Central just came out with some additional functions where you can do like minus CM or plus CM to show the beginning and end of month, whereas historically you literally had to hard code the dates. So there's been more flexibility there. Up top is going to be for your system. Down below is going to be individual users if they need an override. So again, just comparing these two to make sure that everything ties out. These are 2 separate tables. I used to pull both up on different tabs every month, look at both of them to make sure we needed a set. Now you've got it all in one spot. And then down below, closed accounting periods, hopefully not an issue right now, but as you get to the end of the year, and especially the new year, this is just going to show what you have closed. In this case, I only have 2024 closed. Definitely need to get 2025 closed still because we're halfway now through the year. Again, just showing you quick health check analytics on the closed accounting periods. And then accounting period warnings. Do we have our future accounting periods set up? So right now it's indicating that I'm good through the end of 2026. But as soon as I get into 2027, we see that we have no start, or we have the start date technically, but the end dates haven't been populated. So the setups are missing. So if you're trying to report even now deferrals into 2027, you're going to have issues with the periods in those financial reports. So definitely take a look at that as well. We'll cruise through these next 2, and then we're actually going to be rounding this out real quick because we're already at about 23 minutes of our 30. So I want to give Erin plenty of time to finish us out here. But again, super simple inventory tab. It's going to show you 2 things. Negative inventory warnings. There's options to turn that off, of course. But right now I have that turned on, I guess. I can go negative. So this is just showing all items we have negative inventory for. Definitely want to look at all those. And then inventory value and statistics. This is going to show all of your items as well as missing, data points, missing descriptions, missing item categories, missing posting groups. And then just some analytics over here. How many do you have on sales orders, purchase orders? What's your inventory value, unit cost, unit price, primary vendor, things like that. So again, In that realm of the health check, just quickly looking at this and seeing, hey, is anything glaringly obvious that I need to update right now, right? I can sort by description or item category and see all the blanks, so on and so forth, right? And then the final two, we've got system and change logs. So system, real quick, is going to show you all the users you have in your system, if they're logged in, when the last time they logged in was, their license level, which is super important for right-sizing licensing, especially if you have people who don't work here anymore and you're still paying $80 a month for their license, right? Definitely want to save some money there. And then what type of license they have, a full user, an admin user, an application user, external user. So again, different functions based on the user type and different license costs associated there as well. Job queue warnings, what's failed, what's in a failure state. If your job queues aren't running, things are not happening. We also have the ability to send you an email upon failure on these. And then currency exchange rates, just when was the last time you updated a rate and what is the current rate? We haven't updated the Canadian rate since 2024. Lots changed. That definitely is going to cause FX issue as we actually start to post and collect cash. And then finally, change logs. So this is just going to show your change log entries as well as your retention policies. So if you have change logs turned on, this is quickly going to give you a synopsis of what changed, who changed it, when did they change it, what was the old value, and what was the new value. You do want to clear those logs out periodically because they can really add up in terms of the memory that's in Business Central. So these retention policies just show what's enabled to be cleared out and how often that retention period is. So this would be cleared out every 6 months on a rolling basis, right? So right now it would clear out month 7 ago, right? And the next month it'll again close out month 7. Like it'd always be 1 month behind that, right? So that is kind of the crash course on the health check. There's a lot of good stuff there. We went through it super fast. I'm going to jump back to the PowerPoint just to kind of round us out here and just talk about a few other things. So I'll go through this very quickly because I know Erin has a few things that she wants to touch on before we end, but I know it's not year end right now, but this is a practical example of how you could use this, right? Checking the out-of-box Business Central posting dates to the health check view. Ours is just a little bit easier to view there. Make sure the dates are good to go. Direct posting warnings here on your accounts receivable. Again, checking that both from a GL to subledger check versus the overview dashboard that we see there, making sure direct posting's turned off for all of those. 3, making sure your accounting periods are closed and making sure that you actually close the income statement for that year to roll to your retained earnings. Closing the income statement, which we talked out by dimension, of course, and then finally posting that year-end batch. So these are all things that the health check is going to aid in and going to be super powerful in terms of helping you save time. So if you're looking to learn more about this, you want to see those videos, this recording, or any of our other tutorial materials, please feel free to scan that QR code. That's going to take you directly to our content and give you more information. Erin, Bill, and myself are always happy to chat on this as well if anybody needs more information. So next steps, I'll drop these in the chat, but we've got that quick download that I already talked about. I'll send some additional information on our product page and app source, as well as some of those YouTube videos and product guide. And then finally, I talked about health check today, which is kind of down here in the middle, but we do have about 35 applications available to our Business Central users to help optimize the productivity and automation. So feel free to scan this QR code if you want a full copy of our product guide, which is going to be a one-pager for every app that we've got in the system. All right, Erin, I think you got about 3 minutes left. Thanks for letting me take most of the time, but I'll pass it back to you to take us home.
Thanks so much, Ben. Lots of great information, and I'm always amazed that it's a free app. So appreciate that. So here's how we think about what you just saw and really why it matters. So for those of you on Business Central, you know implementation is chapter 1, and after you go live, the business keeps evolving, but the system doesn't always keep evolving in pace with the business or business process. So the RUX Health Check really gives us that system level view, as Ben showed. And for many organizations, that visibility alone is valuable. At Weidenhammer, we view sort of this next steps in 3 parts, starting with something like the health check. And then we also will do remote database review to check things like your extension inventory, data quality, your security and permissions, things that, again, over time can really change. And then Second, something that your system can't tell you is what your stakeholders and users are experiencing. So we talk to users across departments, find out what the operational friction is, what sort of undocumented workarounds are happening, where there's Excel dependencies, training gaps, things like that. And then finally, we bring that all together. So taking the system findings along with that user feedback and prioritize it with quick wins as well as larger initiatives categorized by business impact to, kind of make it more palatable in terms of how to move forward. But none of this delivers without the right partner behind it. So for us, we really see four things that make a strong partner. Ben, if you want to flip. So the first is being proactive, so monitoring the tenant health between releases, being root cause focused, so not just fixing the why, finding the why, not just fixing the symptom, and consistency. So I'm sure I've heard it a lot, Ben, I'm sure you have as well, that some clients are frustrated with a revolving door at their partner, where just as someone gets up to speed on their business and process, they're gone. And then finally, being right sized. So for the mid market, where there's senior level attention, you don't feel like you're just a number in a long list of clients. So if any of this resonated with you, again, please scan our QR code. Again, you can reach out to us at dynamics@hammer.net. We'd love to talk. And then I'd just like to wrap up with a big thank you, Ben, to you for sharing today and for everyone for joining. We always kind of get to this mad dash at the end, so appreciate you hanging on. Um, you can follow Rux and Weidenhammer on LinkedIn. And again, feel free to reach out to us at dynamics@hammer.net. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Erin.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.